to the Fourth and Long Fantasy Football Show.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fourth and Long Fantasy Football Show. My name is Justin. Episode 49 today, and football is back. The anticipation of seeing real football with real fans for the first time in years has me so excited, guys. I can't wait. Season kicks off on Thursday night with the Bucs Cowboys, and I'm here to get you prepared for week one. All that preparation you've been doing, researching your players, drafting your squads, preparing for this season, all comes to a culmination when the season kicks off this week. Now, as a reminder, guys, I'll be releasing my weekly episodes throughout the season on Thursday mornings, get you prepared with my weekly recaps, waiver wire ads, and starts of the week. Your time is valuable, so let's get to it.
On today's show.
All right, so for today's show, there's no week to recap, so I'm going to be giving you a few things I'm going to be looking forward to seeing in week one. I'll then jump into my waiver wire ads of the week, and then I'll give you my 3 starts of the week. Before I get there, though, just a quick piece of advice. As we head into the start of the fantasy football season, don't overreact to 1 week. There are always players that overperform and underperform. Don't go dropping players because of one bad week. Even the best players have down weeks. It's a long season. Remain patient. Trust in your preseason evaluations. So let me get into 3 things I'll be watching very closely in week one. The first thing I'll be watching, the Rams offense. We get to see this Rams offense in action on Sunday Night Football against the Bears in week one. I can't wait to see what Sean McVay has game planned for Stafford and his plethora of weapons here. How does the target distribution work itself out, right? Is it Woods, Kupp, Higbee as we expect? How does the running back room sort itself out with newcomer Sonny Michel and third-year back Darrell Henderson? I expect the Rams to be a fun team to watch in 2021. Next, I'll be watching the Bengals offense. Joe Burrow is back. And I've said it from the beginning of our shows this offseason that I think the Bengals offense could be pretty fruitful for fantasy this year. How well can this line protect Joe Burrow? Can they open up run lanes for Joe Mixon? There's a boatload of potential here, folks, and I'll be very interested in seeing how they handle the Vikings' revitalized defense in week one. The last thing I'll be watching in week one is going to be the rookie quarterbacks. We've got the starters in Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones. How will these young players handle the spotlight? There could be fantasy value on these offenses if the rookie quarterbacks live up to their potential. I'm also curious to see how the veteran starters do in situations where rookies are waiting in the fold, right? Guys like Andy Dalton with Justin Fields and Jimmy Garoppolo with Trey Lance. Be curious to see how it all unfolds here in week one. So now I'm going to get into my waiver wire ads of the week. Now, guys, being active on the wire is key to being a contender in fantasy football. Championships can be won on the wire. Look at last year. We had guys like James Robinson and Myles Gaskin, who were added to most rosters and performed admirably. I'm going to get my waiver wire list here started with a running back, and it's going to be New Orleans Saints running back Tony Jones Jr. Latavius Murray was just released by the Saints earlier this week. That leaves Tony Jones Jr. as the clear number 2 back in New Orleans behind Alvin Kamara. The former Notre Dame running back has impressed in the preseason, enough so that the Saints felt comfortable rolling with him as the clear backup to Kamara. It's difficult to know what this Saints offense will look like in the post-Drew Brees era. Yes, Kamara is the lead dog in this running back room, but Latavius Murray averaged just under 10 carries a game in his 2 seasons with the Saints, and Tony Jones Jr. could see a similar workload right out of the gate. He could have some sneaky standalone value in deep leagues, and he's a premium handcuff who could be thrust into the RB2 spotlight if something were to happen to Kamara. My next waiver wire ad for week one is going to be a wide receiver, and I'm going to go with Detroit Lions wide receiver Tyrell Williams. Even the worst offenses in the NFL produce worthy fantasy starters, and Tyrell Williams is the number 1 wideout in Detroit. Now that Brashad Perryman is out, he should be a target hog in this offense. Now, the rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown, I like him a lot, has been getting a lot of love as a sleeper, but Tyrell Williams could very easily be a weekly flex option. If he's on your wire, go grab him and see what happens. Goff has to throw to somebody. And then finally, my last waiver wire ad for week one is going to be another wide receiver, and I'm going to go with New England Patriots wide receiver Jacoby Myers. Now, Jacoby Myers has been a hot pickup for the last week or so, ever since Mac Jones was named the starter for the New England Patriots. And in most competitive leagues, Myers should already be rostered, but if he's not, he's worth an ad. When Myers got his shot last season from week 7 on when Edelman was injured, he was a top 24 wide receiver in PPR formats, and that was in one of the worst passing offenses in the league. He's a guy to stash on your bench, and if Mac Jones can lead an efficient offense here, Jacoby Myers could be a weekly flex option with wide receiver 2 upside in this revamped New England offense. And now for the last segment of today's show, I'm going to go with my starts of the week here. I'm going to get things started with a quarterback, and I'm going to go with Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady. Fresh off a Super Bowl win, Brady will be looking to keep things rolling against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football this week. With a full complement of healthy weapons at his disposal, Brady is primed for a serious second season in the Bay. The second half of the season last year, Brady was a top 5 quarterback and was pacing for over 5,000 passing yards and 50 touchdowns. Start Brady with confidence in what should be a shootout in week 1. The next player on my starts of the week is going to be a running back, and I'm going to go with Jacksonville Jaguars running back James Robinson. ETN is out for the year. Yes, Urban Meyer's buddy Carlos Hyde is in this backfield, but this is Robinson's job. He's dominated first-team snap share over the preseason, and I think we see another top 15 running back season coming from the second-year undrafted free agent. Going up against the lowly Houston Texans in week 1, Robinson is bankable for 20-plus touches and the potential to score a touchdown or 2. Start James Robinson as an RB1 in week 1. And then my last start of the week is going to be a wide receiver, and I'm going to go with Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley. This might be an easy call, but I'm willing to hedge my bets on Calvin Ridley. Without Julio Jones, Ridley has been money in the bank for fantasy football. This season, we get to see an entire 17-game slate with Ridley being the clear number 1 alpha wideout in this pass-happy Atlanta offense. Ridley should be a weekly lock for 100 yards and a touchdown. And going up against this Philadelphia Eagles defense, he could really go off in week 1. If you have Ridley this season, start him with confidence in week 1 and enjoy the ride. So that'll do it, guys. Please remember to comment and like on this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. This has been the 4th and Long Fantasy Football Show. Good luck in week 1, everyone. See you next week.
Royalty-free music courtesy of Ben Sound. The views and opinions expressed on today's episode are that of the 4th and Long Fantasy Football Show. Remember to like and subscribe.